Hi ladies, this is Ruby Angulo, and I'm really excited today to make this short video for you ladies. I posted about a couple of hours ago a question that really intrigued me because I read something about that about a couple of days ago, and I've been meaning to post it on the wall, and I didn't. So I posted it today, and I got some really great feedback from there. But I just really wanted to touch on that, on the experiences that we go through that change our life, and I really mean. I know up to this point in your life, there's probably one experience that has really helped you grow out of your comfort zone. And looking back, a lot of us probably in that stage of our life didn't feel as if it was such a blessing. We didn't feel like that at all. I mean, nobody really feels like change is the best thing in the world at all times, especially if it's such a drastic change. But I think when it comes to things like that, one so experienced, and if it is in fact a very drastic change, you go from point A to point Z in a matter of a day or even hours. I think that's the effect that has the experience that has the most profound effect on our lives, and really is not whether a choice when we come up to with to certain obstacles. It's not whether a choice whether we're going to face the obstacle or which way we're going to go. When it comes to drastic changes in our life, there's no other choice to go but to move forward. There's no other choice to go but up, because there is no detour. It's just so drastic that, I mean, you're kind of left really dumbfounded. And I know my experience, my big experience that really changed my life up to this point, at least I could say, because we're always experiencing different things. But the main, I mean, we've all experienced a lot of things, but the one experience that really changed my life was when I was in foster care. I was in foster care over the age from 13 to, I would say, 17, 16. I really forget the year that I emancipated myself. I went and I lived on my own. And but that experience itself obviously was such a drastic change from living with your parent to not living with your parent to a bunch of things happening. I mean, it was such an era of my life where I don't feel, I remember a lot of things, but a lot of things changed so fast in those years that a lot of things just are blurred to me. The thing that really helped me in that experience in my life is really how to take accountability for your life, because I had to really start taking responsibility at the age of 16. I got my first job. I wanted a car. I didn't have my parents around at the time, obviously, and unfortunately, um, the placement we were in, and I'm not really gonna say who it was. And if you just heard that, I apologize for that. Who it is that we were placed with, but it wasn't the most pleasant experience to be placed in that care. And we basically had to really fend for ourselves when it came to a lot of things. So it showed me really how to become more independent, how to take accountability. And I saw a lot of, because of being in the system, you really, and I call it the system because it is a system. I mean, it's a foster care system. It's a system run by the government, obviously. And I learned a lot on how not to react to certain things in my life. I really found myself, because I took a lot of classes, and they try to provide a lot of support, and for me it was, but for a lot of teenagers and youth in the system, they were really uh, play the victim mentality, which at that point, I mean, you're young, you're in your teens, you don't know a lot more than what you've been exposed to, and obviously um, they're probably just reacting the way that most of the people they've grew up with would react. And I never really got that treatment from my mom. My mom never really played the victim mentality. I mean, she went through a lot, but I never really heard her, it's so and so's fault for what we're going through. She kind of just like acknowledged whatever it is that we were going through and just kept moving forward. So that's what I am thankful for when it comes to my mom, the way that she raised me and my siblings up to the point, obviously, of the age of 13. But um, I learned how to not necessarily embrace. Obviously, I was younger, I wasn't, yeah, I'm changing, I'm growing. I mean, I wasn't in that mentality back then. I am now. I understand a lot more why I had to go through it. Because I saw myself back then too. I wasn't as timid, but I was timid where I knew, like, why was I so timid? Because I've always, been outgoing. I've always been in sports or in clubs, and but at the end of the day I was timid. I wasn't the most outgoing person outside of that. In that, I would purposely put myself in situations where I had no choice but to speak. But if I was out in public, I really wouldn't speak to people. I really wouldn't. I mean, there was a time in my life when I was really young, and I would hide in the bushes. I remember that. I clearly remember that. And little kids would come up to me, and I guess I looked sad, but I mean, that's a whole nother story. My childhood, I mean, it's a whole nother story. So many stories there that I don't want to get into. But the thing that changed my life was that, because to me, it was as if God had said, you know what? This is the only way that you're going to break out of your comfort zone and really blossom into the butterfly that I want you to be. And I feel like every one of us is a butterfly. We're all in a cocoon, and eventually we're turned into the butterfly we should be. Um, and so that was a drastic change, and it made me change drastically. I became more outgoing, independent. I started realizing that if I'm going to make anything happen in my life, it's going to be me and not anybody else. I really was looking around at a lot of the youth in my surroundings, and I mean, a lot of them were taking the victim mentality. Through their actions, you could see it, because they were very being very responsible, very negative, giving a lot of trouble to a lot of people. And obviously it's because they were hurt. And with hurt, I believe you can react or take action. And there's a proper way now that, thank God, I see it as reacting the right way to hurt is facing it, and really just facing it so that your wound can close. And um, I believe that when it came to that, I learned that on my own, honestly. There was a lot of classes. Obviously, they helped you how to become more independent, and I took a lot of advantage of that. But I think mentally or emotionally, youth didn't get as much help as I believe maybe they should. And it's hard, obviously, because they did try. But you don't want to speak to people about what's going on. You're young. You don't want to speak to it. You're in denial. You're hurt. So I believe that when you're older, maybe they should offer some services like that. Something in the future, I'm just babbling on, that I might actually bring up and try to fund an organization when it comes to that. But that was my experience that changed my life. It really propelled me to be like, I gotta do this. And I did. I mean, I started walking towards being more independent, making my money. Obviously, I'm young, and I had my whole I'm gonna make money and blah blah blah. But now, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot, and a lot of the fundamentals that I learned back then during that experience in my life play a key role in my life now, because I've never played really the victim mentality. I kind of like um I'm not going to let something break me down. And if you're broken down by an experience that you've had, then I believe that experience has won over you. I mean, we should learn from experiences. If they've broken us down, then we should learn from them enough so that we can build ourselves up even stronger. And a lot of the time, we tend to take steps backwards instead of forward. I mean, when we go through an experience, there the meaning of it is not to break you down and keep you down. The meaning is to strip you down and break you up. I mean, and build you up stronger and better than ever. It's really I really think of it as like a transformer. You're there to transform. Just I'm young, so I'm gonna quote movies that are in my decade or whatever. But I believe in that. I believe that every experience we've been through is here to transform us into a better person, not to get us into the victim mentality, to really be thankful for it. Obviously, if you can look back now and say, you know what, it might not have been the nicest experience when I was experiencing it, but now I look back and I think about, man, if it didn't happen to me, what would I be doing? I wouldn't be the person I am today. So just really be proud of what you've gone through. And I know it's hard at times, but be proud of the person that you become because of it. If you've gone through an experience and you really haven't gotten over it yet, I really encourage you to just really start looking at why you may think maybe what you needed to learn from it. I mean, because every experience we go through, we are meant to learn from it. So if you could really look at it back at it with an open mind and say, well, what was I meant to learn from it? And then look at yourself now and see if it's even helped you in any way. If it hasn't helped you, then I encourage you, go back and find a reason why it helped you. And then you'll start looking at a problem or an experience in a whole different way. And then once you start looking at it in a more positive way, then you can start the process of healing. And so I just really wanted to just make this short video for you ladies. I don't regret anything I've ever gone through, any decision I've made. And obviously, we don't always make the perfect decisions, but you know what? It is what it is. We can't change our past, but we know, and we must walk forward and know that our past doesn't define our future. We define our future. Today defines our future. So with that said, ladies, I believe in every single one of you watching this video. I believe that everybody has a right to be successful, happy, accomplish every dream. But that's not important. What's important is, do you believe that you are here to accomplish your dreams? Do you believe that you deserve it? And you truly do. You truly do deserve everything in your life to go out as you envision it to go out, to play out. So with that, ladies, make any comments, comment on the video below. And I always encourage you ladies to love yourself, and others will follow. Talk to you soon. Bye.